Okay, in the second part, we're going to discuss on the need for performance appraisals. So why organization, company or employer need to conduct performance appraisal? Basically, there are many reasons which can be categorized into four. Okay, company need to conduct performance appraisal because of developmental reasons, because of administrative reasons, because of research purposes, and lastly, could be because of legal reason. Okay, let's look at one by one. So performance appraisals need to be conducted because of developmental reasons. Under this category, employer need to conduct performance appraisal because by conducting this process, company or organization would be able to identify and solve performance problems. If you are facing problem with the low performance, low productivity, low efficiency among the employees, then performance appraisal can allow you to gather informations, to gather data on how they have been performing at their works. By this, you can identify is there any problems, and by this, you can evaluate and come out with strategy to improve the performance. Secondly, by conducting performance appraisal, employer or organization would be able to identify opportunities for development. Okay, how can we further improve? How can we further develop our employees? When we identify there are some segment of the employees who are not performing their job well, so we can plan for their training and development or career or professional development. And thirdly, by conducting performance appraisal, we can use this for the basis for training and developments, okay, related to the second part, which is identify development opportunities. And the fourth reason or fourth need why we need to conduct performance appraisal under this category is for career and professional development on the part or on behalf of the employees. Okay, besides developmental reasons, what happened in most of the organization is performance appraisal was conducted for administrative reason. Why? Because company need to determine how they can pay or the criteria they can pay or give bonus for their employees. Okay, and this performance appraisal information or data can be used for or deciding on how or who to promote, okay, for promotion reason. And thirdly, to give awards to whoever qualified or whoever deserve to get, okay, to receive the award and recognition. Best Employee Award, for examples. And what we are afraid of, we can use the information from performance appraisal process for termination when certain segments of employees continuously underperforming or not performing their job properly. Okay, the third and fourth reasons are basically for research purposes and for legal reasons. Okay, many organizations always overlook the importance of research purposes. Okay, by doing performance appraisal with a proper process, with a proper procedures, there are a lot of information can be gathered, and this information can be used to validate selection system. Okay, to validate selection procedures that the company have adopted. Okay, like we have discussed in the recruitment and selection chapter before, if the company, if an organization use a proper, valid, with good predictive validity of a certain selection procedures, the company should have a good performing employees. Okay, by doing performance appraisal, we can validate whether the current selection procedures, selection method that we use really produce a good performing candidates or good performing employees. Secondly, information from doing performance appraisal can be used to validate the effectiveness of training programs. Like we know, in under human resource, one of the most important aspects is keep on developing and improving our employees. But how can we how can we know that those training programs are effective in improving our employee skills, knowledge, abilities, and their performance itself? So by doing performance appraisal, we can validate effectiveness with the assumption that if the training program is effective, it will be manifested in their performance. That's why using performance appraisal data, we can validate the effectiveness of training program. Okay, thirdly, performance appraisal data can also be used to evaluate the effectiveness of change program, okay? The effectiveness of transformation program. By now, we know that with the current or recent issues of pandemic and digitalizations, IR 4.0 or IR 5.0, there are a lot of changes, okay, in the market. Changes in the industry, changes in the orientations of organization, management, and employees' reception, for example. So most of organizations have, to a certain extent, adopt change, okay, change management. Okay, by looking into the data of performance appraisal, we can have information, okay, we can evaluate whether the change program, the change intervention that we have been implemented in our organization are effective or not. Okay, if for example the performance have basically lowered down as compared to before the implementation of change programs, so we can see that the change is not successful. On the other hand, if the performance have been improving, okay, after the implementation of change program or change interventions, we can say that the change program is successful. And lastly, by doing performance appraisals, we can evaluate organizational system or organizational procedures, the job design itself. Okay, we have been listening. There are people who are keep on blaming by bureaucracy. Okay, procedures who are too complicated. Okay, procedures who are too burdensome, for example. So in this case, we can use performance appraisal to see whether the system, okay, the procedures, okay, the protocol have been hindered or have been causing problems for the employees to perform at their best. Okay, using performance appraisal, we can gather those kind of data as well. Okay, and lastly, one of the most important reason in the current era is for legal reason. Okay, we need to document everything that we do properly. Why? Because these are basically the justification. These are basically the evidence of every organizational as well as personal decisions that we're going to make. Okay, for examples, if you happen to have a problematic employees who keep on causing problem or who keep on underperforming, then you may need to terminate the person. Okay, may need to lay off, okay, retrench these people. So in that case, performance appraisal provide evidence for documentation and transparency of our decision.